No one ever really taught me how to be a man. So I want to help others do it. Because I've taken into account how hard that made it for me growing up and really finding my place in the world and my self-worth as a man in this generation. In today's video, really, I'm talking about the birth, the rebrand of this channel. I'm gonna rename this channel, guys, to Coach Jose. And in case you didn't know yet, Jose is my legal name. You know, when I first started this channel, I made it Jay the Man, and I changed it to Jose's Journey too. I got into like more spiritual stuff. I was like, oh, I'm gonna just document the journey, but this feels like the right move to make, guys, because honestly, in this channel, I talk about a lot of my struggles and what I went through and what I learned from it. But honestly, the main struggle I always had in my life was just finding that self-worth, that self-acceptance for myself and comfortability for myself as a man. And I realized, guys, that it's not only me suffering from this. Something that really helped me open my eyes to this was reading up on No More Mr. Nice Guy. Dr. Robert Glover, he goes into specifics about how an abandonment wound will affect young men growing up and in turn them into a nice guy. And a nice guy is somebody who has low self-esteem. He goes about things in a manipulative way. He believes he has to be this needless, wantless thing to get his needs met. And he goes about relationships with women in a bad way. He just tries to be what they want him to be instead of accepting himself and being his authentic self and finding people who will help him get his wants and needs met. And it talks about the journey of becoming an integrated man, which is what I've been working on to become myself. And if you haven't read this book, guys, I strongly encourage you to read it, especially if you feel you suffer from an abandonment wound as a young man and it affected your masculinity, your self-acceptance and stuff like that. But yeah, guys, I want to just get a little bit more personal and really talk about like why I want to do this, why I want to like take it more into like the coach direction, and how that lack of masculine guidance affected me and made me develop some self-destructive habits. But in the end of the day, I learned so much from it, guys, and that's one of the biggest reasons I want to do this, because I made so many mistakes. But looking back, I realized that because of those mistakes, I can help other young men who are going through similar as I did when I was younger. Hey guys, I'll try not to keep it too long, but yeah, in case you don't know, guys, an abandonment wound will really mess you up, especially a childhood one. It'll affect your self-esteem, your charisma, the way in which you go about things. Me, I started becoming really like self-dependent, always keeping everything to myself. And I realized it just felt like I had nobody there for me. It felt like it was only me. And I went through my most traumatic moments alone. And unfortunately, guys, that brought me down to this like dark path of self-destruction and self-sabotage. And unfortunately, because I went through my darkest hours alone and like I learned to just not really depend on people, because I had that childhood abandonment wound. It made me develop some things like I have a one of the things I have, guys, is PTSD, because I did go through some traumatic things and some situations where I felt like helpless and like just really bad, honestly, and in those times, I felt like there was nobody there for me, just myself. And it did something to me, guys, you know. With the PTSD comes a lot of trust issues. I can't seem to trust people anymore. Unfortunately, it's made me like quite avoidant. These are all things that I've done a lot of shadow work to realize all these things, guys. Of course, these are all things I've been working on, but sometimes it's a long process. But it made me quite avoidant, guys, and unfortunately, because of like the abandonment wound and stuff like that, I lost myself for some years to like the street life, gangs and all that. And I still ask myself why, like why did I like give into that? But I feel like mainly, guys, it was like the brotherhood aspect of it, like you know, because I felt so abandoned because of my childhood and the way that I grew up. But in the streets, you know, and that street life, you had that brotherhood there. People who like maybe were going through stuff similar as you, and that brotherhood was there. And maybe that's why I lost myself to it. But it took all the strength that I had, guys, to pretty much risk my life and leave that all behind, all in the name of trying to be better and make a change, and really just be a good man. Honestly, like that's the journey I've been on for quite some time, working hard to become a man that I can be proud of. And that's really why I do what I do and why I want to do this. And I'm moving more into like the coach aspect of it. Like once I get my shit more together, guys, and I feel like I have like the right wisdom and I'm in a position in my life where I'm more comfortable and happy. Honestly, I feel like I'd like to start taking clients and help people with the struggles and things that I've been through. But yeah, but for now, I'm gonna start making. I'm gonna focus more on making these types of videos focused on my mistakes and what I learned from the abandonment wound, from the PTSD, from not having much masculine guidance growing up. Because I know that there's a lot of men out there that need it, and I feel this is something that should be talked about more. And that's why I want to do it, guys. That's why I'm so passionate about it, and I'm gonna work hard at it. Because you gotta realize, guys, like having that low self-esteem, that abandonment wound, and everything that comes with it, it affects all aspects of your life as a man. You know, like with that abandonment wound, you have that low self-esteem, you have that inferiority. You may start to develop that inferiority complex, and you start to believe that you don't deserve good things, and when people start treating you right, it kind of throws you off because you're like, wait a second, like I don't deserve that. Like I feel like I'm a piece of shit. And what you feel in your mind is what you will kind of manifest on the outside. So you'll find yourself always in these relationships where you're the one putting in all the work for somebody who doesn't see your value. You'll see this in your relationships with women, you know. Maybe you'll attract a woman who's narcissistic or avoidant, and you see yourself putting in all the work. You become that needless, wantless man, and you're putting all that work because you just want to be good enough. You want to be good enough, and you feel like you're not good enough, and you feel like you got to prove yourself to her, and like you do all these things for her, but you never get valued in return. And it's these toxic relationships that you may co-create, and then maybe you may even find yourself miserable in life or in your position in life, but you don't have the strength to change it because you feel you don't deserve any better. And you feel you have to be perfect maybe, and any sign of struggle or tension kind of throws you off, and you don't know how to really navigate it and stuff like that. These are all things I have experienced, guys, and like I've struggled with myself and I've learned from. I'm really grateful that I've learned from it, and that's one of the big reasons why I'm going to be doing this and focusing more on giving advice on those certain topics and stuff like that, guys, and focusing more on being a coach and trying to teach people and help people with the problems I went through in my life. Because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, like I'm finally getting to that point in my life where like I'm starting to become comfortable and proud of myself as a man, and finally starting to get that good level of self-confidence to where I can Psych Hacks, a creator here on YouTube, one time said it like, you know, you're a man when you have your balls and your spine, your balls to like say like, hey, this is who I am, and like your spine to stand on it and say like, you know, this is what I believe, and stuff like that. And I feel like I'm finally starting to get to that point, guys, and I want to help other men get to the same point and get to a point where they're happy with themselves and their lives. Because for most of my life, I haven't been happy with myself or the direction of my life, honestly, guys. Yeah, guys, but this was just like a quick little announcement video announcing like this new direction I'm taking the channel with, and I really want to focus more on being like a coach, somebody who leads by example. I finally got that self-confidence within myself. You know, I asked myself, like, why not me? Why not me? Why can't I do it? You know, I always, with everything I've been through, it seemed to affect my self-esteem and like my confidence, all that. But I'm finally starting to see improvement in it after years of growth, and I decided, why not me? You know, why can't I be a coach? I'm only getting older. Why not do it right now? I got the experience. I went through all these things that I could talk about and that I bettered myself through. So why not me? And I want you to take inspiration from that too. You know, whoever is behind the screen listening to this, why not you? You know, do that thing you've been wanting to do. Stop doubting yourself. There's no better time than now. The best time to plant that tree was like 10 years ago, but the second best time is right now. Just keep that in mind. But guys, with that being said, it's been Coach Jose, and I will see you on the next one.